covered, let's talk about gameplay and how it actually feels to play the game. First things first, it actually feels pretty smooth to play. We've had 10 years to actually patch things, maybe get some extra mods in if needed. I didn't actually play with any mods on, but at least from the 10 years of patching, because it's just happened over time, I, I think there was only a couple of rare instances of bugs, but otherwise the game felt smooth to play. Uh, Gameplay felt smooth with. However, I will add the caveat that a lot of quality of life is not going to be there that you would see from modern games. It didn't necessarily carry over into previous games. They kept mechanics as is. So Halo 1, if you're looking for how to sprint just to go faster, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Your legs got one speed. You just have to live with it, maybe unless you're modding, at which point, the world's your oyster. Go nuts. Gameplay wise, aside from aside from your movement speed, felt pretty good. Probably better on keyboard and mouse. But that's just my personal preference. I did try a controller for Halo 1, and I am very much not a controller player anymore. I've learned this the hard way. At least on mouse and keyboard, I felt a lot smoother. But maybe that's just me, and that's going to be personal choice. I once again have to scream into the void about this, but if you are looking for quality of life, you will have to modify the game. Otherwise, you are going to have to just live with the state of the game as is and look forward to what new features are included in the next entries, which are conveniently already there, but you have to look for that. Once again, for sprinting, it does make levels a little bit longer. Uh, there's not necessarily there are some ways around it, but it's closer on the speedrun strats than it is properly running around. Uh, for instance, at least in Halo 1, I will both reference and wince a bit when I say the words bridges or library. That is forever going to scar me. I'm sorry. We all, I imagine for anybody that has played Halo before, they they know what I'm talking about. And no, they don't want to repeat it. Now, of course, I'd still be remiss if I didn't actually talk about the quality of, well, the visuals and the reskins that 343 actually did for the Halo Master Chief Collection. Honestly, it looks very pretty. Uh, and even on some of the, as funny as it is, there was some levels that even had sound redesigns where the music very much changed from a very nice cool jazz to an absolute headbanging rock solo. Okay, not a solo, but effectively a rock ballad as you're just flying through on a banshee murdering stuff. It was great. It was pretty. It was a very different tonal shift. It was, but it made for a very interesting experience that honestly will be very memorable and would probably play again. That said, I will add the caveat that when it comes to some levels, there are going to be some ridges that you will want to shift your visual for just to confirm the hitbox. There was a few times I at least noticed where I would pull a trigger on a grunt headshot, and I just ended up shooting a wall 3 different times until I toggled the visual and saw, oh yeah, it's just a wall in the way, and wall bangs don't exist yet. Different time, different place. Not the end of the world, but something that you had to look forward to. Otherwise, I gotta say all the weapons looked very pretty as time went on. The graphics still happen to evolve even the remastered version as in like the upgraded textures because there was just more room to play with versus the original game. So that's what I had going for me. Hopefully you guys noticed something for yourselves. Having talked about the gameplay and visuals, what still feels good, great, or even amazing? I have to say the soundtrack was incredible, and I am probably going to be adding multiple songs from those playlists to either my Spotify, my YouTube, listening, just something to hum along to. Let's face it, the final missions of any game are almost going to be memorable for one reason or another. If you've ever seen a Halo speedrun, it definitely does cover that. Gameplay will feel amazing based off of whatever you are comfortable with, whether it's mouse and keyboard or controller, depending on your sensitivity. I will say it didn't feel the most incredible in Halo 1, but that was me being on controller and not on mouse and keyboard, where it felt a lot better and could be tuned a lot more finely. If you do want to incentivize yourself for grunt headshots in the future, I would probably advise that you add the Skull Grunt birthday party. It almost incentivizes you just from the sound design and looks of it alone to go looking for those headshots. It was very enjoyable. Now, since we've at least covered what feels very good or even amazing about the game, granted with some caveats, let's get the unfortunate situation out of the way. There are going to be some bad things. It is just how anything goes. It's not perfect, and honestly, that is something to be striving for. Always something to be improving for. So, what's scuffed? What's wrong? What needs that improvement, or maybe a mod? As we've talked about before, every game was effectively only reskinned in its remastering and not rebuilt from the ground up. So, for instance, Halo 1, you are going to need to be able to sprint, at least if you want to feel close to a modern game. Because that doesn't happen, you'll need to mod it. Otherwise, good luck. It can be a bit of a walk. You're just going to have to live with it otherwise. Because that is the case, it'll feel better over time as people effectively remember that it did not feel good to do this until sprinting was involved. And at the same time, there is also the questionable level design that could happen. For instance, and I'm going to harp on this once again, between the triple bridge situation in Halo 1 and Library, speak of which, who designs a library that way that you have to zigzag up? You would prefer just like a staircase that you can offload onto? Those forerunners need a little bit of a engineering video, please. Anyways, weapon design does feel a little bit dated, especially in the earliest entries. Battle Rifle feels incredible in Halo 2, but you have to survive Halo 1's assault rifle, which is effectively dinner plate reticle, and anywhere in that area is free game. To the point where it might as well be a up close weapon, and even then you're probably 50-50 on if you're hitting where you want to hit. You'll at least hit something, but that's about it. Otherwise, level design still, aside from that, the levels felt pretty good. Again, you still want to be wary of textures and hitboxes because there are definitely some points where you just may miss. And at the same time, sound design was pretty good and pretty on point, but there were definitely a few instances where either the sound would feel a little bit off, or maybe it's the vehicles. And the vehicles did eventually get improvements as well, but that there is some aging there. Just have to be wary of it. But it's not going to end the world. I hope that's okay for you. So we talked about the good, the bad, the ugly. What's the final verdict on Halo Master Chief Collection? Is it worth it in 2025? Absolutely. For myself, at least, it was 50 Canadian bucks, and that was back when I bought it originally. If you want to really try and get the maximum value, it's probably going to go on sale relatively often. So if you want to keep an eye out for that, 6 games on a very good bargain is very much worth it. Just there, well, it's honestly there alone. This was with me not playing the multiplayer at all. So you can get plenty more hours of that and still feel very justified with your bang for your buck. And of course, if you have friends, then you can. That feels very sad to say. Of course, if you still have friends, yeah, you can still have a blast with your friends too that have played Halo, whether back in the past and just had a grand old time in any kind of lunchroom situation back in high school. If you just had you and your buddies over staying up late at night, killing each other in multiplayer lobbies, yeah, you'll have a wonderful time. Well, you got this casual's verdict on if you should buy Halo in 2025, especially if you haven't done it by 30 at this point. I guess I'll see you when I see you next, likely with another backlog breakdown. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you later. Bye for now.